and welcome to the Privasec broadcast series. My name is Nikita Kirpichnikov and I'll be your host today. We have an interesting topic today called right fit for risk. And from some of the conversations that I've had with clients, this is quite a confusing framework. And today we have Nazeer Baig here. He is a GRC consultant at Privasec who has extensive experience in ISMS, IRAP and PCI. And I'm not going to name all his certifications because they'll take forever, but I'll name a couple like CISM and CISP. So Nazeer, what is right fit for risk all about?
Any person who is looking out for a job assistance with the Australian government would engage a private service provider who, as part of the contractual agreement, will be required to implement certain set of information security controls. And that's where the terms right fit for risk has evolved, where the service provider will be required to implement the security controls as defined by the Department of Education, Skills and Employment.
Yeah, fantastic. And what kind of companies do you think will need to comply with this?
It's a varied. To begin with, any agency who has or who receives more than 2,000 workloads or work cases, as a matter of fact, people looking out for an employment across Australia would qualify for a right fit for risk criteria. I mean, any organization who sort of upskills in excess of more than 2,000 people in a given year would qualify for the right fit for risk criteria, because that's what the Department of Education, Skills and Employment would require for. This number has surged in the recent past. I mean, number of organizations who are undergoing the right fit for risk has increased significantly as against in the past. It's because of the pandemic onset, where people are losing jobs and sort of looking for Australian government assistance in getting a new job across the industry.
That's true. So what are some of the expectations that you would have through this requirement? Could you be able to walk us through this framework?
As part of, again, the right fit for risk, which is again evolved from external system assurance framework, which is defined by the federal government again. Any service providers such as employment service provider, cloud service provider, or third-party systems provider, which are again used by the department, would be required to have a certain set of provider accreditation controls to be implemented. So as part of that, right fit for risk defines the ISMS as well as Australian ISM principles, which are supposed to be required or abided by the service provider or employment service agency, as a matter of fact.
Okay, fantastic. And I guess, what are some of the benefits you would have if you had a consultant establish this framework for you?
So they would help any organizations who's endeavoring to achieve right fit for risk, like right from performing the gap assessment through till liaising with the department with the statement of applicability, SOA, because these are a bit different from the ISMS implementation strategies, where it requires a bit more detail to be defined in the SOA even before that goes to the department, which then is supposed to get vetted by them even before any organization proceeding into the stage 2 of the assessment.
Awesome. And from your experience, what are some observations or tips that you could give companies that are going through this journey?
As I just alluded to, the key components of the RFFR are going to be the scope document and the statement of applicability. The scope document, it will be a bit different again as against the ISMS, where external service provider agency will be required to abide by the principle laid down by the Department of Education, as well as the statement of applicability, which is again going to be an amalgamation of ISMS as well as ISM controls, which is again Australian Information Security Manual. So all these controls with an explanation has to be put in a way that department can vet it, and then they can allow them to get into the stage 2 and the further tender process.
Thanks, Nazeer. I think many organizations out there will find this extremely useful. You've provided a bit of clarity around the framework. Our team is always happy to answer any of these questions. You can either leave a comment, you can even email us, or feel free to give us a call. We'll always be happy to help. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.